said, I'm the talent. And he's like, it must be nice to just show up and be the talent. That's what it is.
That's a pretty nice gig. I'm gonna be honest with you. Producer, sound guy, technician. I mean, it's a lot going on over.
See, but marriage is a partnership. So like,
that's gonna be an episode.
Together.
We're not talking about that today. We're talking about it next time.
It's not tit for tat.
Yo, what's good, family?
Hey.
We are Phillip and Krystin Godfrey, and we are introducing ourselves for the very first time as Naptime and Nuptials.
Where it all goes down when the kids go down.
Can you tell that she's been practicing that? She's been waiting for a very long time to say that.
That
Not
made
that
me
long,
so
actually,
happy.
but been waiting for a little while.
That made me so happy inside.
And so Naptime and Nuptials is a podcast catering to young families and young marriages. And so really we understand just how busy life can get, especially when you have young kids, and the way things are now, it's just always something to do. And in those seasons, what tends to go first? Your marriage. And so we wanted to take an opportunity to really pour back into marriages with some of the things that we've learned, and really let you guys into a lot of our conversations. How we normally operate is once the kids go down, we sit down and have, some us time and talk. And we're really just letting you guys into those conversations. Anything else you want to add there?
I wanted to share that we have been thinking about doing this for a long time. Phillip and I have both had a heart for young marriages because we spent a lot of time at the beginning of our relationship really just kind of figuring things out. And as it's grown, we've loved being able to help other couples work through things. And so this is our way to share it with the world. We can't come to everybody's living room physically, but by doing this, we can bring you guys into ours. And so, we're really excited. We're really excited about it.
Yeah, really excited. Looking forward to it. We've learned a lot. A lot of it, honestly, was just straight out of the Bible. So, I mean, it's not necessarily new, evergreen content maybe, but hey, rinse and repeat. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So it's definitely going to be biblically based. Going to be sharing with you guys a lot of revelation that we've gotten, some things that we've tried, and hopefully it just be a time where everybody can kick back, relax, get to know us a little better, and really just grow, a little bit. So The reason is Naptime and Nuptials is because we understand that nap time is like sacred, like.
At least it is in our house. Like, we don't miss nap.
That's true. Yeah, we like to nap. We're a napping family. And so we understand that, you only get about a good hour out of a nap with your kids. And so the episodes are probably going to flow like 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes long weekly. And we want you to kind of spend a little time out of your nap time with us, and then go back and work on your marriage and the other part. So anything else you want to add about something like the more detailed stuff?
So we actually, like he said, we will be dropping episodes weekly. We also will be dropping content on our social media and also on our website. So you can follow us on all platforms at Naptime and Nuptials. That's also our website. So www.naptimeandnuptials.com. And then you can also email us if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions for podcast episodes or questions you'd like to see us answer. We're going to put all that in the description box below. So you'll see our email address and you can hit us up there as well.
Yeah. So if you like anything that you heard so far, like this video, subscribe, comment, tell us what's on your mind. If you don't like some of the things you've heard so far,
do it anyway.
Like, subscribe, comment, keep coming back. I mean, what is it going to hurt? I mean, just
it's like a relationship.
Just turn us on and just let us play in your ears. And that don't even really listen, Don't even really listen.
Please listen.
Background noise.
Please listen to what we say.
No, I mean, you're going to catch some of it. But like, subscribe, comment, turn on post notifications so you know when the content is dropping. So right now, we understand that you don't really know us from Adam. There are probably some people out there who do know us, but for the most part, you probably don't know much about us. Yeah. So I have put together some questions. That's why I got my handy dandy iPad here. Krystin doesn't necessarily know these questions that I'm going to ask, but
he said, I'm the talent. And he's like, it must be nice to just show up and be the talent. That's what it is.
That's a pretty nice gig. I'm going to be honest with you, producer, sound guy, technician. I mean, it's a lot going on over.
See, but marriage is a partnership. So like
That's
we're
gonna be an
partnering
episode. We're
together.
not talking about that today. We're talking about it
It's
next
not
time.
tit for tat.
That is an episode. We're not talking about that today. See, she's dropping.
That's a partnership. These
all
are
these
gems,
hints.
like little hints. You know what I'm
Little
saying?
hints.
Keep you guys coming back.
And so this technically isn't a formal podcast episode. We want to do like an intro, kind of orient everybody to us and kind of get to know you guys a little bit, get to know us a little bit. So, hey, yeah, drop some information in the chat, like where you guys from, how long you been married, if you're married, do you even want to be married? You like being married? No? I mean, just let us know.
Yeah.
Nobody will know it's actually your YouTube comment. Maybe. All right. So question number 1. Krystin, what do you want people to know about marriage?
I want people to know that marriage is beautiful. I think that today's society has a lot of opinions about marriage, and there are a lot of misconceptions about marriage and a lot of perceptions about marriage that are not true for all marriages. So while it is hard work and we really have to work at it, it is beautiful. And I think that everyone, if two people agree and they're both seeking the same goal, believe in God, walking hand in hand together, that they can have a beautiful marriage. Because I know for me, I don't want to get to the end of my life and our lives and sit and say like, man, like I totally regret that. Like I would have been better off not married. That's not what I want. And I don't think most people want that. So I want them to know that with hard work, with prayer and dedication and commitment from two people, it takes two, that it truly can be beautiful. And I think that our marriage already is. So I'm grateful.
Cool. Great answer. Great answer.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Right now, no.
Go ahead.
What's something that you want people to know about parenting?
So for me, I think the biggest thing I like for people to know about parenting is that you got to give yourself a lot of grace. Like there is really no blueprint out there. I mean, outside of the Bible, like, yeah, you can pull some gems out of there. But there's not really a blueprint on how, like, if you do this thing, you're going to get this result.
Right.
There's not a ton of that out there. And so the same thing I would kind of say with marriage is that I would say for parenting as well is like really lean into your unique way of doing things. Because if you're trying to do what somebody else did because they got success, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the same success. Like for marriage's example, there are things that bless other people's marriages that would break your marriage. So you don't really want to be doing that stuff. You know, like you can take the principles, but like doing the exact same thing or cookie cutter may not get it. Yeah. So that's kind of one thing that I would say.
I love that.
And a little gem. I said we're going to talk about the Bible. Like, if you think about Pharaoh's army when they were chasing after the children of Israel, like they died in the the Red Sea. They died in the Red Sea because they were trying to do what God told somebody else to do. So just do what God tells you to do. Don't worry about doing what God told somebody else to do.
That's good. Elaborate. What were they trying to do?
They were trying to cross the sea. Like God told the Israelites to go over. Not them. Bruh, get out of my water. You know what I'm saying?
So that's so good. Like, we always talk about how our kids, we have 4 kids, by the way. And they're young. We have a teenager, and then we have 3 that are under the age of 5. We had 2 under 2 twice, and then we had 3 under 3. So it's kind of wild for a couple years there. But we always talk about how they're all so uniquely different, all 4 of them, and they all need different things from us. So like you were saying about parenting and marriage, like you have to lean into that uniqueness and recognize that really, truly, you have to create what you want, because there is no blueprint. There is no map for parenting 4 totally different children. And then there's no map for me for loving Phillip. No one can tell me how to love Phillip.
I can't even sometimes.
Phillip can't even tell me how to love Phillip.
And Krystin cannot tell me how to love. I've asked. She can't tell me.
No, it's going to be a lifelong journey for you to figure out how to love Krystin. And I think that is something that makes marriage so unique. And if you lean into that, if you realize that, I think that a lot more marriages could be healthy and thriving and loving and a partnership. So.
And it just doesn't have to have that pressure.
Yeah.
You know, like, we'll talk about that, but never mind. We'll talk about that. That's not an episode for the introduction.
All right, Phillip, and I have a question for you.
What's up?
So when did you know that you wanted to be married?
So I don't know if this is like unique for guys or something, but I kind of always wanted to be married. So I grew up around a lot of women. You know, my mom and dad were together, and I just kind of saw, I don't know, I just kind of always saw women taking care of me. And it's gonna sound bad, I guess, but I don't know, I just kind of always like, I need somebody to help take care of me. I don't know. Like, I can take care of myself. I know I can.
But I don't want to.
And I tried it for a little while, but I'm not built for that. I need somebody to kind of do life with. I always knew that.
Yeah.
And so even as I approach like relationships, for the most part, I approached them from the viewpoint of like, yeah, I want to be married one day. So yeah, I don't know. That answer sounds real kind of squirrely though, but.
But, I 100%, of course, I know this about you, but a detail that you guys may not know is that we met pretty young. So we started dating in college. I think you were 20, and I was like 21, 22.
I gotta tell all my business.
So, but Phillip had a level of intentionality with our relationship that I had never seen before, personally. And also just like knowing what I know now, like in somebody so young, it was really, really rare. So I saw that from the very beginning. Like, he was in it for the long haul. Like, every relationship he went into with a level of intentionality and like purpose.
I mean, bro, I ain't out here wasting time. Like,
yeah, which I benefited.
Gotta make something shake. You know,
I definitely benefited, but know that is rare for men. You said, I don't know if that's rare for men. I think that is rare for men. And truly, like, you were like a boy almost at 20. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, I was a man. Boy, what you talking about, cuz?
You're a man.
I'm a man.
Okay.
I'm a man, mama. I'm a man.
So, yeah. Well, you were a man. You handled your business, I guess. Okay. That's funny. So, I don't know.
Is it my turn?
I'll answer the question, too.
Okay.
Like, I didn't grow up necessarily seeing a ton of healthy marriages. My parents got married when I was in middle school, and my dad truly is my stepdad, I guess, by the world standards, but he's the only dad I've ever known. He raised me. It was just like he was there at my birth almost, you know what I'm saying? So, but I've always, even without having seen a ton of examples of healthy marriages, I knew that I wanted to be married one day. I think that was like God-given, because even when I was like doing whatever and like I didn't really know God, I knew I wanted to be married one day. And I had an idea of what I wanted my husband to be like. So I'm grateful for that. So yeah, I always knew like the kind of man I wanted to marry. Like, it was never any question.
Just for fun, Kristen asked me like recently, what would I have done if I hadn't married her or met her or something? I was like, I would be married to somebody else. What are you talking about? Like, this, what kind of game is this?
Clearly not fun game.
It's the truth game.
It's a true game.
Don't ask me a question you don't want to know the answer to. I would be married to somebody else. So it is what it is. Next question. So we're going to get at the meat of this right here, because I don't want y'all to think that we got it all together. What has the planning process for the podcast been like so far on your marriage?
Okay. Little insight about us. We are totally different. I think that a lot of people are like that. We are polar opposites in so many ways.
I mean,
we
both
share
of
a
y'all
lot of values.
same, then one of y'all is not needed.
This is true. We can't be the same. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. But we are polar opposites, and I'm going to show you a quick example. So Phillip gave me creative license. He was like, Kristen, go with it. Like, be creative. And that's me. I'm a creative, but logistics, I am not. Phillip's notes are on the iPad. And I'm going to show y'all my notes. Don't make fun of me.
She was trying to hide the notes.
These are my podcast notes.
How are those podcast notes?
Hey, listen. It works.
Could someone explain to me how those are podcast notes?
But anyway, I wrote on a piece of paper.
That's one of them elementary school will you date me notes.
Will you date me, yes or no?
Yeah, with the check maybe box.
That's
I ain't never
cute.
put the maybe box on there.
That's
I need
cute.
you to know.
So anyway, we're totally different. So I will say that I have like the creative mind, and Phillip is the planning mind. So he did a lot of the legwork, the research, the equipment. I just had a name and I'm like a concept. And it worked out though. Like we put our minds together. This is why God put us together. I'm positive. For a time such as
I think
this.
it's your turn to ask a question.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just move on for that one. I
Have
felt
to
it.
use
I
his
felt
notes.
it getting tense.
Did you feel it? I didn't
felt
feel
it
it.
getting
I felt like
tense.
it was good.
Not the first. We didn't
What do
want to
you-
do the introduction.
Well, then what do you think the planning process was like?
A struggle.
In what way?
So, as Kristen has already noted, we are extremely different. Like, so I've been trying to figure out since I've known Kristen, like what motivates her. I do. If any of you know, please let me know.
I like vacations.
Cause she like, okay, she. I
I'll let you
mean,
finish.
she lives a very plush lifestyle. I mean, it is my fault, and I completely take credit for that. However, she was given to me like this, by the way. We're going to talk about
Blame my
that another
daddy.
day. We're going to talk about that another day. But, like, so she has this idea. And so we've been praying about something to do and how we can how we can get more into, like, lines of ministry with just our day-to-day and just helping people out. And so she came with the idea. She was like, we should do a podcast. And this was, like, first time we talked about this was, like, maybe even years ago.
Maybe so.
But she came recently, and I was like, "No, don't worry about it." And so then she came. She kept talking about it. I was like, "Okay, maybe it's something that God actually told her this time." And so, by this in this timing, maybe that's what I said. But she had the name. She had all this, and nothing else. She's just like, "Okay, I want to do a podcast," because she knows that I'm gonna do it, and we're gonna get it done. And by we, like, I mean, we're going to get it done. And so she knows that. And it's just like, I don't know. Yeah.
That's what
She's
he likes
just
to do.
over
like,
here.
This is
There are
me.
no dates. So it is a frustrating process.
And I don't want to be. We talk about this
Two very
often.
different people being married.
Yes, and that's leads me to my next question. One of the questions that Phillip has, because these are his notes.
These are my questions.
But what do you think is one of the most challenging things about being married? We talked about the good. There's so much good, but there are challenges. We're honest.
I think it's just like having intention day in and day out. Like there are no days off. And if you're not really built or wired for that, it can be difficult. Like you have to decide every day that you're gonna work on something. And honestly, society ain't really built for that. Like the narrative is kind of like, oh, once you get something good, like just keep working, like just keep it going, like keep it kind of what's it called, like coasting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it ain't marriage, like because you're two people who are evolving every single day. And so I think for me, it's just the intentionality part of it and doing that every hour, whether you like that person, that moment or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I think for me, probably the toughest part of being married is, like you said, like there's that level of intentionality, but also you're taking two different people who moved at two different speeds with two different mindsets.
Yeah, I never even
and two different levels of intentionality, because what's intentional to you is not intentional to me. We know this about each other. And then what's intentional for him, for me, might not be intentionality for him. Yeah. So I think that's probably the hardest thing, is that balance, that dance you have to learn with a whole nother person, and also with a person who is constantly changing. Because I can't even think of how many ways I've changed since you met me at 21.
Yeah.
Like 12 years later, I've changed so many times. So not only is life changing and you're changing and your kids are changing and your jobs are changing, you're also internally changing on the inside and growing and learning every single day. Yeah. So I think keeping up with that balance is probably one of the toughest things. And whenever it gets out of whack, we immediately feel the weight of it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that has been something for me that I constantly have to like think about and be intentional about, because we are so different, and just making sure that we stay on the same track and on the same page always.
Yeah, I agree. And that's before you even layer on like children and personalities of kids
Yeah.
and friends and
Family, work,
family. Yeah, like
stress.
all the other relationships you're trying to manage on a day to day basis. So, yeah.
Man.
And so I guess we got time for like one more question. I
Okay.
know we don't want to keep you guys too long, but why the podcast now?
You can go first. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
I clearly asked you the question.
Okay, so for me, it is why not now? I'm a lot of things and I have a lot of positive qualities. You know, we all do, but I'm a procrastinator. And so, what I
I
am,
was not expecting
I
that.
am, I procrastinate. I've always been a procrastinator and I'm working on it. I don't want that to be, it's not innately in me. You know what? I'm not a procrastinator. I procrastinate. I'm going to fix my words there.
Yeah, don't label yourself.
And
Yeah.
so
We're going to talk about that too.
if I have the ability to push something back and back and back, I can stay in the idea stage forever. And so one of the things that we've been talking about in our marriage is that we don't want our best ideas to die in the notes app on our phone, or to die in our mind, or just even to die in prayer. Like, you can pray about something past the point of answer prayer. And so this is one thing that we've
Wow.
been. Oh,
To
you
die
can.
in prayer.
You can pray, get an answer, and keep praying about the same thing
Yeah.
and never move. And I don't want that to be me. I don't want that to be us. So that's why now, like, we believe that God has given us his vision. He's given us the resources to do it. He's given us the mind to create it. So let's go. It's time.
Yeah. Cool.
Ditto.
Ditto. No, but technically you didn't ask me, so I was waiting. But it's neither
Okay.
here nor there.
You hurt me in my that it's just the connection.
And so I when Chris and I first got married, shortly after we got married, we went on like a marriage retreat. And one of the things that we wrote down in that marriage is like a vision for our marriage was that we wanted to pour into marriages. And we didn't know what that looks like. We were very newly, I mean, like I said, very newly married, maybe even months married, maybe not even a whole year at that point. And so we were setting vision for our family. And I like to always look back and say, like, when you go back to the earliest point that you can remember on something, that's probably the most pure, like of a vision or kind of just a state that you can get to, because since that point you thought about all the negative things and you thought about all the things that could go wrong. So anyway, and we wrote that down, and it was something that we just never really even went back to. Our family grew very quickly, and we really just didn't have time to kind of get back into it. And so I think for us, what we always try to lean into, and definitely what I try to live by and also lead by, is that obedience. And so I believe that this is a season where God has kind of given us this vision, and we're gonna lean into it and be obedient. Now, what that looks like, I mean, it looks like this right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, how that turns out isn't really up to us. It's just really obedience. So I think that's why now. And we're completely different. Kristen says she is an idea state sometimes. I am like activation. Like, let's go do it. Like, let's do something. I don't care if it's perfect. Let's just try it, and we'll tweak it along the way, because like I believe that there's blessings and protection and just so much in obedience, and I try to really live by that. So that's why now. You got any parting comments for the intro?
No, I just want to say I'm really excited that you guys are here. Some of you guys have known us for a long time, and then some of you guys I'm sure, will be new. And so we're just grateful that you're here, and we pray that everybody that watches this podcast is blessed by it, not just by our words, but we pray that something that we said encourages you and encourages you in your marriage. If you're not married, we pray that it encourages you and shows you that marriage is good, that it's beautiful, that it can be joyful and loving. And so, yeah, we're just really grateful. I'm just really grateful. I don't take it lightly that you're here.
What she said.
What I said.
So, again, thank you to all our day ones. Y'all are day ones now.
Yeah.
So if you watch this video, you're a day one, and we appreciate you guys coming on this journey with us. Share. Anybody you think this content could help, share it out. leave us feedback, send us some emails, whatever you need to do to get in contact with us. But we'll be looking forward to talking to you guys soon, and we'll keep you in the loop when we start dropping the official podcast.
Yes,
episodes.
and also,
Naptime and Nuptials.
you know what? It's a jingle.
Jingle.
We need a jingle.
Jingle. I'm not a singer, but
Let's
hey,
go.
I will if I need to.
We also have some really cool things in the works. I'm planning on a really fun giveaway for the launch. So more details to come, but super excited about it all.
I just heard about the giveaway right then. So
He knows I love giveaways, so it's good.
Yeah.
But I think that's it. All right, y'all. So definitely like this video, subscribe to the channel, send us an email with any ideas that you have or anything you want to say or ask us for. And so yeah,
we got to stop the video at some point. It's okay.
I don't want to go.
It's okay. All right.
We'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back.
All right, y'all.
So long for now.
See ya.
We out.